Hi, I'm Lovoni.
And I'm Sarah, and welcome to the Lovoni and Sarah podcast, where we talk all things weight loss and well-being.
On today's episode, Sarah and I chat about the wake-up call, that moment when you decide enough is enough. Maybe it's health reasons, painful joints, or perhaps you saw a photo of yourself and you were horrified. Whatever the reason, stop prolonging what needs to be dealt with right now.
Mm-hmm.
Before you get to the point where putting it off just isn't an option. But before we dive into today's episode, let's do a bit of a catch up because we have been away for about a month, I think it is. Sarah, how are things with you?
We've got a lot to catch up on, to be honest.
We do.
Let's address the first major change. We are now video recording our podcast. So welcome along, everybody. We're having our first video shot at this. So bear with us if we're not quite up to speed because we've
had a few technical problems.
We've got a lot to learn. So that's the first thing. I think probably the major events that over the last 4 weeks have been summer holidays. So I've had a break. You haven't had a break. You've worked.
Some have had a break. I have not. I haven't had any break. No, none. Sarah had a fabulous time in Spain.
I did. I went to Spain. I was thinking about how to give everybody a bit of a recap about that. So the best parts of my holiday were I was relaxed. I relaxed my eating schedule, which was really nice because I think I realised that when I'm at home, I'm a little bit like, right, what have I got to have? When have I got to have it? Is it prepared? And you tend to eat the same things over and over. So it was a much more relaxed eating schedule. The choices were different, obviously, because eating abroad is going to be different to home, but lovely, fresh products produce to choose from. And the variety, because we went to the market, we bought vegetables, fruit, loads of fresh fish when we went and ate by the sea. So yeah, I had a really lovely time.
I was so jealous. And I was saying to you about how that's just the way people that eat.
Well, it's not
like, oh, I'm just going to eat healthy. That's how they eat.
And you know, the result was, for the first time in my life, I came back from my holiday weighing less than when I went on my holiday. How about that?
Yeah, well done. Yeah, well done.
It wasn't a strain to do that. I didn't feel deprived. I still had ice creams a couple of times. I had a beer every day, but I ate less because it was hot as well. But I ate less. I ate really good, clean produce, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So that was a result.
Well done, you.
So your 4 week update.
Let me just put my glasses on for that.
Yeah.
So it was a crazy time for me, as you know, but I worked on 3 cookbooks over 6 weeks. So I was either food styling them or food styling and taking photos. So it was pretty intense. I did try to eat a salad every day for lunch, not so much because I think the salad's the way to go because some salads are fattening, but I just thought, well, at least that way I know I've had some greens, some veggies, some nourishment for the day because I wasn't getting home till late. So I was eating late. I didn't work out, but that was by choice more so than anything. It was like self-preservation.
Yeah, because you were so tired.
Because it's pretty intense and physical. And there was 1 week there where we were outside in like 100 degrees plus. Yeah. Which is, I don't know, high 30s into the 40s.
So did you have any achievements? I mean, it was a pretty hard going time.
I put on 2 pounds. So
well, maybe that is the achievement. It was only 2. I mean, you could take a silver lining to everything.
I guess so. But that was my wake up call, just as that segue into this episode. Yeah. Because, you know, up to that point, I had lost about, I think it was like 17 pounds, something around there since June.
Yeah.
And so putting on that 2 pounds, and I know it's 2 pounds, my husband said to me, this is gross, but you could go and have a really good crap.
Yeah, and then it'll be gone.
That would be pretty huge. And then it would be gone. So it's, you know, not 10 pounds, but
I think it's the fact that you've nipped it in the bud, haven't you? So the fact that you're quite right, but then you suddenly become aware of thinking, this is going the direction I don't want it to go in. So
that was a bit of my wake up call because I'm like, I am not going to put that weight back on again. No. So just, you know, back into routine, exercising, and so
yeah. So, and I've had a wake up call myself, so I know that's what we're talking about this episode, but my wake up call, and we're going to go on and talk about how we use these things and what they are. But my wake up call is I've just had my blood test results back from a general health check that I've had done over here in the UK. And we'll talk about some of those in a minute, but some of those readings have given me a bit of a moment to think, right, okay, I have been doing it. I'm doing really well. I'm 16 pounds down. So I'm happy. Done. I'm making progress. And actually 9 pounds of that happened in August. So, that's quite a good.
Fantastic.
But that said, I've still got this moment of saying, okay, no more messing about. But so yours is come, your wake up moment for you is the sort of the drop dead moment is come because you've realized it's starting to slip the other way. Is that what you think?
Yeah, because that's what happens. I lose some, then I put it back on, lose some, put it back on. And, I've been losing and gaining the same 20 pounds for the last, I don't know, 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, enough. Because I was really enjoying the highs that I was getting from when I weighed.
You were doing so well.
That I was losing. So, and also exercising, I do miss that. So I'm back into it. Of course, we are going away. I'm going away at the end of the week.
Yes, we are.
But I'm not going to do the usual, I'm on holiday vacation. So therefore, I'm just going to eat whatever.
No.
And it'll be New York with a city that.
So should we share the fact that
let's share. You share. So, it's a cool story. It's your story. It is a cool
story. So the story is, as a surprise for my son's 18th birthday last week, we told him that we're taking him to New York for a 5-day break. Amazingly, Lovoni is going to come and meet us when we're over there because we're so close. It would be crazy not to. So
right.
We're going to be together in New York by the end of the week.
Stay tuned for some photos from that.
Yeah, and maybe we could do some live stuff because
that would be fun.
We're going to the top of the Rockefeller Center, so or top of the rock. So we could perhaps
top of the rock.
Yeah, we could do that live on Friday this week. Crazy.
I'm a bit nervous about that.
What, for the height?
Weird. Yeah, I get a bit weird about that. I'm already in a plane, but
right.
I don't know how many stories it is. Do you know? I need to look that up.
Lots. It is.
Lots. I've been in the Empire State Building at that time.
Well, there you go, then.
The tall. I know, but I think Rockefeller's much taller than that. But anyway, so we're not going to just throw caution to the wind. And you can enjoy the food without.
Oh no, but genuinely,
completely going overboard.
Yeah, I have changed my lifestyle without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
there's still major improvements that I need to do, which is what I think this wake up call is going to do for me. But what I realized is that I have changed my lifestyle when I was eating that way on holiday. I am a different person when it comes to that now. So it's I won't be then eating the way that I used to eat when I'm over there. I'm looking forward to trying different things, but it won't be a case of stuffing my face, that's for sure.
Oh, it is America. They do like big portion sizes.
I'll have to share.
Yes, do that.
Yeah.
So talk to me about, because this episode was your idea.
It was.
So talk to me about that. What inspired you? Why did you want to do this particular episode?
Because so they took all my blood way back now. I think it was in June, and it's just because of my age. I'm 47, so they offer this kind of health check for people of my age over here. And off it went, and then it took ages to get an appointment to then follow it up. And when I've been there, they've basically told me that I've got high cholesterol, and they gave me a risk factor. The really good news is, from a risk factor, I was really low on the risk of a heart attack, which was nice to hear.
It's always good news.
Always a nice thing to hear. I'm slightly elevated in the risk of becoming pre-diabetic, so for type 2 diabetes, and my cholesterol was too high. And they ran through all of the ways of correcting that, which are all of the things that we've talked about and we already know, which is losing weight, exercising more regularly, and then the type of foods that I'm eating. So the type of foods I've already nailed because I've changed my lifestyle so dramatically that that's fine. The losing weight is happening, but it's not happening fast, but maybe that's the right way of doing it because I'm doing it, by a sensible change to my life and diet rather than going on a diet. But what I haven't done enough is upping my exercise. So they wanted me to do 30 minutes every day.
Let's do it.
So, and I suddenly
Make
thought,
it happen.
I had that exactly that. I had this wake up call and going, so Sarah, how many people do you need you to tell, do I need to tell me that you need to do this, otherwise you're going to become unwell? And exactly how many people do I need to tell me that I need to do more exercise and I need to get rid of weight? It was I came out of there thinking, this was completely inevitable. I've been overweight on and off, but for the majority of my life, since I was a really small girl, my diet has been really poor, even though I've eaten good meals and produce in that time. I've then also eaten a lot of sugar, a lot of fat. It was kind of inevitable that my blood work wasn't going to be spot on, to be quite honest. But it's weird, isn't it? Until someone shows you the black and white data in front of you, you can sort of pretend it's not going to be that way. You're like, well, I'm healthy because I do this or I do that. And the hard fact is, no, I'm not, because it's showing me there and there in the paperwork that I've been given.
It's amazing, though, in 3 months, how much you can turn that around.
Okay, well, that's the good thing, isn't it?
Because, that the especially the A1C, your blood glucose.
Yeah.
And exercising and just not cutting out carbs, because, we're not cutting anything out, but just eating, like good carbs. So, beans, oats, stuff like that, right?
That's a really good point, actually, is the fact that you don't have to say it's gone past being changed, or you can make a change, and it just even just
you
1
can make
month
a change.
can make a difference.
Yeah. But I think the thing is, and this is a point that I wrote, because I know I've done it, is to stop convincing yourself, or myself, or people listening, stop convincing yourselves that one day you'll start making healthy changes.
Mm-hmm.
Because then when you get to the point where something actually happens and you can't just sort of ease into it and start making little changes, which has got you to the point you're at, you said it, it's becoming easier.
Yeah.
But, if something does happen where you need to go on medication, or God forbid, you end up on an operating table, then you can't start making small changes. It's like a massive change if you survive that. So I know that's all very dark and gloomy, but
and I was the same. I sort of came out and thought, well, I could say, oh, I do need to make a change. I know I need to do this, but it was just a bit of a bit more pressure to that, going, but when do I? And she did say to me, do you want to go on medication? Is it, statins or whatever to help with this? And I was thinking, no,
statins.
No, I don't. I want to try and do this on my own. And actually it wasn't severe enough that I have luckily still got that option, because but if I leave it longer and longer, maybe I won't have that option anymore, so I do genuinely, without being too dramatic, feel like it's now or never. Like, come on, do the change now, so that in 10 years time I haven't had that choice removed from me, which could well be the case, couldn't it, if you just keep bumbling along.
Well, and that's like me with, my back or back pain that I have, or seeing myself in photos. I mean, they're constantly a wake-up call. And I think you just get to the point where you just think, I am so sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of feeling this way.
Do you do that thing, which I know I do, is in my head, I feel like I look completely different to what I actually do. And then you see the photograph and you're just shocked. You're like, wow, that's not how I feel.
Yeah.
And weird. I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel clunky and achy and all that sort of thing. But in my head, I'm like, no, I don't think I look like that. I think you've taken that
look
wrong.
like that, but I look at photos and I think that doesn't even look like me, because I haven't spent my life overweight. And I just think, oh, good grief, is that me? Mm-hmm. Because it just looks so different from how I, was. And is it different how shocking.
You feel? Do you feel how you used
to? No, I feel
to,
like that too.
Do you?
Yeah. No, I feel like that. So it's like, geez, Lovoni, just get your shit together. Basically, that's what it is.
But do you think we can all find a wake-up call? So perhaps, people that then are listening thinking, well, I don't feel I've had a wake-up call. Is there something that they could actually spend a bit of time evaluating, and then they could find one?
Even tiredness. I mean, you hear people say, oh, I'm tired all the time. If you're carrying around extra weight, that greatly attributes to tiredness.
Yeah.
So there's one thing there. All pain, joint pain, hip pain, knee pain, foot pain, back pain, like
Well,
I
that's the other
have.
thing, you know, and you've had surgery in both of your knees. I had my
Right,
new right hip last September, and I'm now just booked in. I'm going to be having my second surgery next month. So that in itself, you would think is enough of a wake up call to say,
right,
come on, you need to do this. This is
right.
going to help you get
Yeah,
around better once you've got
yeah.
these new joints.
Well, yeah, because now I have new knees. I can walk and, it's fantastic. But it's my back that bothers me. And I know losing the weight, it
Yeah.
will make a huge difference. I've spoken to many people that have, and that's what they have said. So I think that people, just need to look about, whether they've got gut issues maybe, or they're, like I said, tired, anxiety. That's another thing. Any of these things, losing weight can help all of that,
And
especially
even
aches and pains.
your outlook on life and your mood, isn't
Oh
it? Don't you
God,
think?
yes,
You sort of
yeah,
think that you
yes,
feel different when you are lighter and you're looking after
right,
yourself and you're energized because you have way more energy, don't you? So
right.
even if that's just enough of a reason, it doesn't have to be necessarily a major health reason. I don't want people to
Mm-mm.
having to go searching for something if it's not
No.
there, but even that is enough of a reason to, your life will improve if you improve your health. Even just a small bit, you
Oh,
start to feel better, don't
yeah,
you?
yes. Your mood will improve, and your skin,
Mm-hmm.
just so many things, and the joints, because people think inflammation is joints, but inflammation is also, heart. And if you're not taking in a whole lot of fat and sugar, then your liver function improves as well. There's just, oh my God, there's just so many benefits to losing weight if you
Yeah.
are overweight. Of course, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about anybody that has, issues like eating disorders or anything. Okay. Sarah and I aren't doctors. We do talk
No.
about that we're not, but we are serial dieters, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah, and
Yeah.
yo-yo weight differences, particularly for me. I've
Yeah.
been I've
Mm-hmm.
been up, I've been down, and been on a diet for, well, I'm 47, so probably 43 years. It feels like, it's a long time.
Right.
Ever since a young child, I've been up and down, up and down, and we talked about that's what I had as a something to follow, in front of me, because my mum was on a diet all the time, and I just sort of thought that's the way that you do it when you gain weight. And we've talked about the emotional crutch that food is, and it's such a large set of behaviors to have to change to get to a place where you're not on a diet anymore, but yet doing enough to change your health to lose weight. Because on a diet or not, that's what we need to do. We need to lose the weight. So it's how you go about it, isn't it?
And I think anybody that's ever hidden from the camera, like I do constantly, that's a wake-up call. If you feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable having your photo taken, and people worried about people sharing it or other people seeing you, or you avoid things, if you avoid going to reunions and, or just out
Yeah.
sometimes too, some people avoid meeting up with people because they don't like how they look. They're all wake-up calls.
That's a good point.
Like, hello.
Avoidance. Exactly. I think avoidance
Yeah,
in general is a wake up call,
right.
isn't it? So if
Yeah,
you're avoiding anything, if you're avoiding that medical appointment because you know what they're going to tell you and you don't want to
yeah,
hear it, if you're avoiding the photographs or a social event because you don't want to be judged, or you're avoiding even having to buy new clothes, because I know plenty of people that don't want to shop because they're so
mhm,
down about not being able to find the right size or things that suit them.
yeah,
Even physical relationship, people avoid a physical
yes,
relationship because they feel so badly about themselves. I think that's a really, really good point.
yeah.
Avoidance
Oh,
is
yeah,
enough for you to, if you can suddenly become aware of the fact that you are avoiding one thing, multiple things, then that can be your
yeah,
wake up call to say,
yeah. Even
but
ticking one
why?
box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why am I dodging that?
And just avoiding, oh, there was something that you said there. Oh yeah. People that might want to do things with other people, but don't think, oh, well, I'm hurting too much, so I can't do that. or will I fit into the seat, or you know,
Mm-hmm.
is there going to be a lot of steps and I'm going to be out of breath and I won't be able to do it, or my knees will hurt, or something like that. They're all wake up calls.
See, I do that. I avoid, and we've talked about this before, but I avoid physical activity because I know that I'm not mobile enough to do it. And I
Right.
don't know whether it's, I genuinely don't know if it's the embarrassment factor of whether I think, because I can't do it, people are going to judge me or I'm going to look ridiculous, or whether it's just the fact that I know that I can't do it, so I'm not going to enjoy it. But I'm missing out on absolutely loads of
Yes.
things. I'm missing out on such a
Yeah.
chunk because it's things that I would like to do. And that's the other thing. You just think, well, come on then, use that wake up moment as the catalyst of the reason to change. And actually,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that you then throw everything out. You know, we've talked about all of these small steps adding up and making a difference, but just starting, because you and I are starting, we are underway, we're doing it. All right, you've had a little setback. I've had many setbacks over the last 9 months. But there's lots of people that haven't even started. We have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that if we can inspire someone to say it's okay, you don't be afraid, but
Mm-hmm.
use those embarrassing or avoidance moments as your wake up call to actually start to do this.
And there is no right time either. I mean, you know, some people think, oh, well, I've got all this junk in the house. Pff, fucking throw it out, seriously.
Yeah.
That, and oh, I might have a party to go to, I've got to go away. So just start now.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, no matter whether you've had a bad day or not up to this point with eating, you can still do some form of movement, whether it just be a short walk or even like chair movements. And you can have something healthy to eat for the rest of the day. Don't choose tomorrow.
Exactly. And as an example, yesterday we were on a really long road trip, and we stopped at the services halfway up to get something to eat. Now, service food is very limited, but you know what, there were only really sandwiches or a burger to choose from, so didn't go down the burger route. But even then, I chose the small one. They had a children's size little pack. And I thought that is actually more than enough for me right now, because I'm just sat in a car. It's not like I'm going to go, hike up a mountain or anything. And some of it's partly training your brain to say, in that situation where choice seems a little difficult because it isn't there weren't healthy choices, make the best choice you can make and what's available. So where you were saying, you don't wait, I might go, well, I'll start tomorrow then, because actually there's nothing really that I can choose here that's great, so I might as well just go in for a Big Mac and fries with I love a vanilla shake, so stick a vanilla shake on the side, which is actually nearly my whole day's intake done in one go.
God.
So it's just making choices within what's available to you that that's gonna do you some good. That's as simple as that, isn't it?
Before it gets too late.
And I think we've talked about the wake-up call or a realization moment, which happens, and I think probably, if we're honest, we've had them many times in the past, but the thing that's really important is to make sure we use that wake up moment, because actually you can see them, can't you? And then you can just ignore it and let it go by.
Oh, I know people that have had major wake ups, lying on the operating table having to get surgery done on their heart. And they went on afterwards because it was so shocking and frightening. They went on, they lost weight, they did the right thing. And then I've seen pictures of them on Facebook and I'm like, and you've put it all back on again.
No.
Yes. So, because, after a while that fear goes away.
The shock goes away. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, bad choices.
But then maybe that's because the mentality that we talked about when people go on a diet, because it's just this limited moment. They've just had to lose weight. They've done what they needed to do. And then that's it. It's done. So all of the things that we've talked about in season 1 and season 2 about making lifestyle changes and actually genuinely living differently, that's why that works, because you're not doing it for just a short window of time, are you? You're doing it for...
It's changing your mentality, totally changing your mentality.
Yeah.
But, now's the time to do it because you can make those small changes.
Well, I was going to say that, and I think people, I don't know about you, but I sort of chunk my year and sort of think, oh, we're in September already. How can that possibly
Right.
think, well, we're nearly at the end of the year now. I've been there so many times before in years gone by, gone, well, it's nearly Christmas, isn't it? So I
Right.
might as well start next year, you know, when you were sort of saying about talking about the next thing. But
Yeah.
that's a third of the year left, people.
Oh,
like
right.
a third of 2023
You can do
left.
a lot in 3
My
months.
God, you can do a lot in
You can
3
change
months.
your body in 3 months, no matter how much weight you've got to lose. So let's see. So between now and 3 months from here, going to see some changes.
Definitely.
Because we can. Yeah. So I know I've done the same thing. And
Yeah.
I even now still think that. I have thought, oh my God, it's September. I am not where I wanted to be. I haven't done this.
You beat yourself up over it. Yeah.
I beat myself up over it. And that's just counterproductive.
Yeah.
So instead, what I'm doing is what you just said. Okay, I've got 3 months and I'm going to make this count, because I'm not going into another year thinking, I'm not saying I'm going to lose all the weight that I need to lose in that time. I won't. But
no, but you
I'm
can
not
make an impact.
I can make an impact. So I go into next year going, wow, okay, I've made a big achievement.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to keep the momentum going.
Okay, so that's a really good point then. So let's thinking about how we're actually going to do this. What are your goals then? Because it's starting now. We've said it's starting now. We know we're traveling at the end of this week. We've got a different few days of coming up. It doesn't matter. We just adapt our routine and our choices and our lifestyles. What's your goal going to be? What are you going to do differently? And what are you going to cook? I mean, we're away, but what how's it going to look?
For being
this
away?
Week, yeah. Well, just for this sort of week coming up. Yeah.
For this week is one, just good choices, not eating so much, and getting some exercise in, whether that's walking around New York as much as my back will let me walk around, or whether it's biking at home here. I'm going to, when we're done here, I'm going for a bike ride and going to do some weights. I don't know if the place I'm staying in has a gym. If it does, I'm taking my gym clothes. So I'm, can go and do, God, even if it's just 20 minutes, something.
So is that going to be your goal? What you're going to
That's going to be they're my goals for this week, is to just not use I'm on vacation.
I want it more specific. Come on.
Oh, more specific.
I want a specific. Okay. Because I just think it's so, I don't know about you, but I would be easily to say, oh, well, I kind of did that because it was a kind of a woody goal. So come on,
okay.
I think
all right. So specific, a minimum of 30 minutes a day exercise.
Okay. Wow. Okay. You're
That's
on it.
a minimum 30-day exercise. 30-day exercise, 30 minutes of exercise per day. For eating, I have found that gluten is giving me a bit of a sensitive tummy, so I'm leaving that out. I did a whole lot of gluten-free baking yesterday. So getting rid of gluten, not forever, but I'm just going to be mindful of how much I have. Just cut it back. And then just, fresh things and smaller portions. I mean, that's, I don't have to finish
almost to kick yourself back into it again, to get yourself back into that routine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I think
what about you?
My goals, obviously being away, it's going to change my kind of eating. So I don't know what I'm going to eat, but I'm going to choose mindfully within my new sort of lifestyle choices. I'm quite comfortable around that. I don't feel concerned about making my food choices. That's good. My exercise, without a shadow of a doubt, will hit its target every day because I'm going to be walking for miles. New York's
left city to walk around.
I know. My poor left hit's going to be screaming, but it's fine. I'm going to push on through that.
Take pills.
Yeah, that'll be fine. But I think my goal will be that there is a gym in the hotel where I'm staying, so I want to get in there and actually get some weight training, and I want to do some of that every day. So that's going to be my goals for this week, is to actually get in outside of my walking, outside of my food choices, get in and actually do some weight training in the gym when I'm away and then when I'm back again. So that's my goal.
So what about cooking though? Because the season's changing. It's almost autumn here.
I'm feeling about ready for doing some batch cooking. Getting back into, particularly with knowing my surgery's coming up next month, I can get a load of batch cooking into the freezer to make life easier after that. So when I get back, that's when I'm going to concentrate. Clean food with low saturated fats, batch cooking, that season change,
watching
really
the salt intake.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sort of really focusing on the season change and eating those sorts of foods. What about you?
I'm making tonight. I'm making a Jamaican butternut squash and chickpea curry. Yeah,
sounds good.
So that's what I'm going to do tonight. So just just more. I'm still eating stuff from the garden. So some eggplant things. A couple of eggplant dishes this week. Salads. I've got lots of lettuce and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
Yeah, lots of veg really.
Yeah,
that's what I'm focused on, and fruit, citrus, because citrus is coming in. Yeah.
Okay, well that's good because we've still got plenty of sunshine, but as the winter comes in, you need to up your citrus
vitamin
intake.
C. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so I think that's probably then sort of the nub of what we're saying is to find your wake up moment, and maybe that's even just the avoidance situation. Once you've found it, don't ignore it, because you can actually use this. And I think everybody already knows the changes that they need to do, so actually just get started on them.
Yeah, don't wait until it's too late. Because like I said, if anything that we have said today about our wake up call has somehow struck a chord, then it's time.
Yeah, exactly.
And just start now. Seriously, just start it now. No more waiting. What are we doing next week, Sarah?
Next week we are talking about mortified to motivated, overcoming embarrassment and procrastination. So again, this was another topic that I brought up for us to talk about, wasn't it? Embarrassment. I've got lots to talk about that next week. I think it'll be really interesting and hopefully actually quite motivating for people. So that's next week.
Well, that's good. I'm looking forward to that.
As always, thank you so much for listening. Please send us a message if there's anything or any episode you'd like us to cover on the podcast. We're really open, aren't we, Lovoni, to suggestions and actually new topics, so send them in. Visit our website, lovoniandsarah.com, for extra helpful information and some really delicious, wholesome recipes courtesy of Lovoni's expertise, and to find links to connect with us on our social media. But remember, don't wait before starting. Don't wait for a life-threatening, perhaps wake-up call, or even just waiting for something to suddenly inspire you. We already know that it's there. Your wake-up call is there. It's just actually being honest and acknowledging it, isn't it? I think. Stop convincing yourself that one day you'll start to make healthy changes. Start making small changes and do it now. We're both committed to this. We're going to do it now. Before too long, you will start to see results and you'll feel like a new, younger, more energetic person. And we can't wait to do that with you.
Yes, and I can't wait for that to happen.
It's coming. It's coming. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, bye now.
Bye.